Hello everybody and welcome to another tutorial in camera and lens repair, and this time it's an old Flektogon Aperture 4 and it's a 20mm for the Exakta, and it has a problem with the oily aperture plates, so let's dig into it. I can set it to something like 22 and not really much will happen here. So let's see in here. We begin to take off the nameplate here, and I use a rubber glove and a cake ring, you know, those for cake baking, so you can cut them out. But I put it in a rubber glove here, and it has the almost same diameter here, and then I can just press a little and then it's free. Then I can fully unscrew it and then it's off. Nothing special about that. Next thing is the front lens group, which is a big one, and I can just use a homemade tool. It's a compass which I have filed and grind, so it has a good shape for working with lenses. I can just put it on here and have the other side and then press on it and then unscrew it. Then I can just use my fingers to unscrew it, and then it's free. I could use a lens sucker and then just take it out. You can see it's quite big, and I guess coming into it you have to unscrew the front ring here and get all the lens element out if you want that. Now it's not the case here. The lens element looks pretty good, so but it's in here, that tiny aperture system, which we need to go deeper into. We need to take off the back here, the mount, which is quite big. It has the aperture, depth of field button here, and also the aperture ring here. And make sure there is a steel ball around here, so keep that in mind. And do not unscrew this retaining ring here unless you have to. If you have to unscrew this ring here, you will need to set a mark somewhere. Could be here, for example, and down here. So those two marks has to be in line. I already have been into the lens, so we can see it further in here. But if it's not necessary, don't unscrew it. So the 4 screws here, one here, there, and there, and wait with this one over here. So we just need to take off, unscrew those screws, and it's good with a magnetized screwdriver, as you can see here. So sorry for being in the camera. Now the second last unscrew that. So it's free, and now we just press and hold here to unscrew the last screw. So there, it's quite easy. And then hold on to the aperture ring itself here. Now we can actually move this and lift it up here. So now we are actually inside. This is the depth of field system. You can see how it works. There's no problem in here. And then we have the aperture ring. Under here, this little, I will say around here, there is the steel ball. So when lifting up, be careful to just wiggle it up a little. And then you see here, this is how the aperture click is, and the steel ball also. And since we have it here, the steel ball is at least something like 1.46, 47, 48 millimeter. No more than that, or no less than that. Something like that. Now, keep the ring safe away. And then we go deeper into it. And then, to get deeper into it, we actually need to, we could do the easy way, but it's difficult to get to all the parts. But of course I can just unscrew this part here, and not this one, just to keep that in mind. Do not unscrew those two screws. If you have to, you could set a mark here, because the holes in here, the two holes you can probably see here, the holes here are not round, but they are oval, kind of. And it's the same with those. They are also oval. So one have to make a scratch in here, so I know exact position of this one. So make a scratch here. I already have been into it. And you also have to make a scratch in the end of this one, so you know the exact position of this part here. This is how it works in here, the mechanical part of it. So if I move via the pin here, it goes into here and will move the aperture mechanical part. So you can see here how it works. And it goes between there and there. And if we have it fully closed, I found out this part here was actually the more sticky part, which is not, since I've been into the lens before. But the blades were also oily. But as you can see, this part here is actually pushing onto the depth of field system, I would say. So when pressing onto this button here, this one will go into and leave the compression of this. So the spring here will actually close the aperture. But it was more actually quite sticky, this part here. So dig into it. We could take off those part here without taking off the inner here. So I think I will do that. Let's do that. So make scratch here. Make scratch here. So you know the position of that. You see how it sits in here? So you probably can see here where it goes in here. How it sits here. Now, yeah, we'll just go with that. So I will take off this screw here. So it's good with a magnetic. And the other one. I will just show you how it goes into here. Because when we unscrew it, we can just see here how it sits. So this pin here has to go into here. I have to push this into here. If I can. Not that easy. It's a spring loaded. Now it has to sit like this, so it will move properly. You can see it here. I'll just get rid of that, and then take the other part over here and also unscrew that. There has been some sticky glue or something to prevent the screws from unscrewing. And I will just use some varnish to put on, nail varnish, black, and so what. And then this goes into here. You can see, looks like that. Now, then we can just leave this as it is. It's not necessary to unscrew that. So no. Then we need to get into the blades, and there is. It looks like it's a ring, but it isn't. It's a ball bearing here. Probably you can see there are one steel balls here, there, and something like over here. And it will move the aperture system, so it very easy moving. Now this ring here, it's not really doing anything. It's holding the three ball bearings, but it's that the outer ring here, one notch here, and the other one is over here. Now, and then I will use a compass lens tool, whatever you call or what you have, and just put it down here. It can sit pretty tight. It was not that too much tight in here, so you put it on and then you unscrew it. So, and get that out. Be careful not turning over the. Do not do this, because then the blades and the inside here will fall out. So we just need to unscrew this here, this ring. So nothing special. And then it comes to the actual aperture in here. Now we have to fully open it. It will say this one, and I do also have the opening. You probably can see down here, the gap here is where the this pin will go into. So I'll just keep it on side here and have it fully open. That's the way you put the blades in too. So now I can, you can see here, this is just a ring with a 3 steel ball. It's not a ring you can unscrew. So I use just a simple tweezer where I open the legs even more to get it down here, and hopefully I can take the inner system out. Should be quite easy. So, and this is how it looks, and this is here. It gets it needs some cleaning with isopropylalcohol 99%, because here's all the oil. And here you can see it's actually a ball bearing, so we do not need to unscrew. Yeah, well, you could actually unscrew this ring and get the steel balls out, but I will just let it be as it is and just wipe away the oil here. Now, then it comes to the blade itself, and we need to get them out. And since you can see how they are orientated, the gap is here. So, and we need to have it sit like that. So I can just take one blade out, no matter what it is. But they are quite alive and they're very thin. So, small as it is, I will just put them into isopropylalcohol. You can see, this is how hopefully you can see it. This is how the blades actually are working. So when you close the aperture, the ring will actually move the blades to something. It's starting here and then it goes like, well, I will show it with the last blade. See here. Just have almost all of them in, and you can probably see there are some signs of oil here. Now you can see they can only sit in one way. So now, since we are here, the blades are in a fully open position. So when I turn the aperture ring, the blades will actually go down here and close even more. So it is. Now put it in here and let them stay for a little. And then I will just use a little isopropylalcohol on a lens cleaning fabric. Just get rid of it. It's not that much, it's mostly on the blade itself. And just do it a little again. It doesn't have to be a lot. So, and it feels okay in this case. Yeah. So that's more or less what it is. You probably need to put this to suck it in, like just the bottom part here. Just put it in, but not the ball bearing itself. No. So and then I can just add a little onto the bottom of the inner part in here. So now, so it's time to actually clean the aperture plates itself and have them up here. So there. Look at how old the lens self is. So that's fine. Put them in the correct position and the right way. And then the last plate. Now all the blades looks really good, so I can just put them back into the housing here, and we'll just do this. So there. Now, to get the last blade in, we need to do something here where we can actually push one blade out a little. This also have to come out a little. And then take the last blade and with a help from a tweezer, press down here and then put the last blade under. So it can be a little tricky to put in. So it will be something like that. And we can just make some little adjustment here, because the blade pin, the end pin, has to come a little closer to the lens element. So it will be something like that, I think. And we have the sorry, we have the gap over here, and then I can put in the part that actually moved the aperture blades. Shouldn't be that hard, so I can just use my special tweezer here and let it just fall into place, hopefully. Something like that. Then get it out, and with the help from a tweezer here, just hopefully have the blades in. I mean, if I can move the we need a very pointy tool. So there, and this one here, and this one. So you can see the blades goes into the ring itself, and one should be able to actually move the blades into so they can close and open. This is how it works. So now next is to put in the lock retaining ring that is over, that keeps the aperture system in place. So we can just put that in, and hopefully it will fall into place. Sometimes it will, sometimes not. But with a help from a lens tool, we can just go a little backward, and then it will catch the thread, and then we can actually screw it in. There is no adjustment of this system in here, so when you tighten this retaining ring, everything will be in correct place. So I can just tighten this retaining ring and tighten it good. So now things are in place, and we can see here on the back here where this gap is, that I can if I can show it here, I can actually move the blades as it should. Now next thing is close it, close the aperture, and then we can put in this part here, and it has to sit like this, so it will work that way. It probably needs some cleaning with the isopropylalcohol to make it actually move better. So, because it was a little sticky. So then we can just give it a little so get the rest of the isopropylalcohol out. I'm not sure if it needs some oil in here. I don't think. It will just run dry. But of course you could add a little, a tiny drop of sewing machine oil here, or acid-free oil here. But on the other hand, I don't think it's necessary. Maybe somebody else out there knows that. Well, I'll just put it in as it is, and then load my screwdriver with a screw here for this, so it will be much easier to put it in, because there is some tension on this spring here. So you see how it goes in here. It has to sit like this. It will say that gap, that tiny notch in here, it has to sit there. It is a little tricky, and then we can put this over to the two screw holes. Well, we could actually just get one screw in, so we have hold of it. So, and the other screw we can also put that in. I found out that was actually quite easy when both screws are in place. So there, not tighten it yet, because it has to be a little loose so we can pop this in to place here. Just put a finger on here and then tighten, and not fully tighten the screw, just put them in. So now they will sit there. So we have the mark which I set in the very beginning, as you probably remember. Then I can just tighten this screw, good, and this screw too. So you can see it works as it should. So when I move this, the depth of field button thingy, it will move it. Then the next thing is we have the two screw holes here, where this piece of metal will also go into here. You can see there is a little gap here, and this has to sit in there. But load your screwdriver with a screw. It's an easy way of getting ready for the screwdriver to come in. Now, then I can add this part in here, so it will sit there, and it cannot go any further. The only thing is, well, I will just put in this follower here for the aperture ring. So I just put it all the way, almost all the way over here, so I can still have some space to move on. Then I can put in one screw, and hopefully so works. Now it sits in place, which is good. Later on I will add some varnish, but I do not have it at the moment. So now, since I also set a mark in here, which we will see if I move the ring here and push it as long as I can, you will probably see there is a mark there. So now I know it fits, this part sits correct. And then I can tighten the screws. Good. So now it sits there, and you can see, wow, it works pretty good. So then I can add the aperture ring itself, put it on. Remember the steel ball here, and it was actually, steel ball is 1.46, something like that. And this pin here, we can fully close the aperture system. Let's just have it almost fully closed. Then I can add my screwdriver with one screw, so it's ready to screw into the mount itself. Has to sit like this. See this pin in here? It will move, and it will also at the same time press on here. We can just see it here. Hopefully you can see it. It will press on here. But I need to put the aperture ring on. So since there is some small amount of grease, it will stick to that. So I'll put this on here, all the way up to the, cannot go any further, here, and then press it down. Then you can press it down and move it, and there will be the click. Now I will put the depth of field mount button on here in that way, and this screw here it goes into here, so it's the 180 degree. Then I can put it on here. Oh, be careful, it sits correct. So, and then align the holes, as you can see here. So there, and then I can add the screw over here. Just need to put the screw on my screwdriver. Well, you can just take this here. So now one can screw it in, and then it sits as it should. You can see here. Wow, really good. Then the opposite side. So there. Tighten it good. And just the rest of the screws. And then you can also see, if I click here the depth of field button, press it in, we can move the aperture. How good is that? Well, that's actually fine. And then we can just have the last screw here, and then put in the lens, the front lens group. Everything looks fine. You see, there is a this will just go in. Just do something. There was a tiny fragment in here, and we can also do it here on the back if there is anything. Then I can put this in here. Maybe a rubber tool here will make it things a little easier. So I going a little backward to catch the thread. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. So and then use a lens compass tool or whatever you have to tighten the front lens group. So, and then in comes the nameplate. Just catch the thread in here. You can see click and add this ring and my improvised name ring tool. So, and now it sits where it should, and everything is back to normal. Wow, it's very much alive. As I was in it first, it didn't at all work. There was no movement of the blades, but now they works as they should. So, and that was actually that about this Flektogon. So, well, hope you enjoy the content and can use the info in this video. And yeah, there will be more videos when I have the time. So see you sooner. Stay safe. Bye bye.